Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome back to day 3 of Soul Sovereignty. So, today is where we really get to bring all of the work that we've been doing over the last 2 days. We really get to bring this all together. So, this is really going to help you and help you connect the link between your emotions and your beliefs and step into your fullest and highest expression of who you are and own your true power. So, before we get started on today's content, we just have a little bit of work that we need to recap on. And hopefully, you have been a good student and you have done your homework that we set out yesterday. If not, I will allow a little bit of time to do it now, or maybe just do it after this session. But yesterday we covered a little bit about your personal needs, your emotional needs, and your spiritual needs. So we started to identify what you need to feel or maintain a level of inner peace, harmony, and balance and alignment in your life, because this is where we want to be. We want to be in this place of alignment because that helps us to step into our true power and our true purpose. So when things start to trigger us, it is usually because one of these needs is not being met. So that emotional trigger for someone perhaps not doing something, or perhaps you not saying how you truly feel, will sort of digress you into this cycle of almost unworthiness or unfulfillment or resentment, or whatever it is for you, whatever happens for you when your needs aren't met. And we touched on that yesterday. And so today we're just going to quickly recap on your belief systems. And yesterday we wrote down your current belief systems. And we then set the task of you looking to the future, looking to a version of you that is 6 months into the future, and trying to recreate your beliefs from what they currently are to your new belief systems. So what I want to quickly touch on today is your list of beliefs, your original list of beliefs that you created. I want you to go through your list and ask yourself these questions. I want you to ask if the belief that you own, if this is physically your belief, if this is true to you and who you are, or is it a belief that perhaps, is it a belief that you have adopted because of a certain experience, or is it a belief that you have inherited through your upbringing or through certain social conditions? So this is the key. This is the first step to understanding your current belief systems. Is this belief my own? And then once you start to identify if it is in fact your own, or if it is a belief that you have inherited, adopted, or created from a traumatic emotional experience, then we need to look at this a little bit differently. We need to start to reprogram this belief. And to do that, we need to, obviously, we need to understand the emotional charge behind this belief. And doing a lot of healing work, like energy work and coaching, helps us to do that. But we first need to identify where this belief comes from and pinpoint exactly when in your life was this belief created, and is this belief serving you now? Is it relevant to who you are right now in this moment, or was it only relevant to the person that you were when this belief was created due to XYZ, due to something that happened or something that you experienced or something that you felt? Usually we adopt these beliefs because of a certain experience, or perhaps because of some sort of emotional abuse, or sometimes physical abuse as well. But any sort of abuse, I guess, is the term that I want to say. And once we start to identify where this belief and when it was, where it was, and where it wasn't, start again. Where this belief, when this belief happened, and where it was in your life, where you were physically. And now that we have pinpointed that, we can start to dive into the feelings of this belief. So we're going to go back from, we're going to actually move back into that feeling that you felt when you adopted this belief. So everyone, I want you just to pick one belief that you've got on your list right now. And I just want you to close your eyes and just taking a couple of deep breaths to connect to your energy. Letting it out on the exhale. And again. And one more. Okay, and so just bringing your awareness to this current belief. And putting your energy, your thought process back into the time when this belief was created. How old were you? Where were you? What was happening around you? And who was with you? And starting to tune in to the feeling that you felt when you had this belief, or when this belief was created because of this experience that you felt. Perhaps you didn't feel safe. Perhaps you didn't feel heard. Perhaps you didn't feel worthy. Whatever it is, the feeling that you connect to, I just want you to allow this feeling to come up in your body. Let it know that it's safe to do so. And you accept and allow this feeling to show you what you need to know right now, what you need to understand about yourself and who you were at that time in your life. And just sitting with this emotion, sitting with how it makes you feel, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's emotional. The more that we sit with our emotions and accept them with love and compassion, the easier they are to let go. The more we feel, the more we connect to them, the less power and charge they hold over us. And just tuning in and asking if there's anything that you need to know about this experience. Asking what you need in order to dissolve this emotional trauma or trigger, to be able to create a new belief, and welcome in your full potential, your dream life, and the version of you that you want to step into. And thanking this emotion for showing up and showing you what you need to know. Just taking a couple of deep breaths. And as you inhale, I want you to breathe this emotion. Breathe it all in. And then on the exhale, gently and softly let it be released from your body, from your energy, from your auric field, allowing you to become clearer and create more space for your new beliefs. Okay, just coming back whenever you're ready. Feeling a lot of sacral and solar plexus energy. How are you feeling? So just know that you can come back to this practice. Be a wonderful idea if you are able to tune into this practice and connect to your list of beliefs that you have written for your current self. Excuse me. And go through each belief and try this practice of connecting to the emotion behind that belief and see how that feels. And the more you do this, the less charge, the less emotional charge this belief will have, and will be able to dissolve it a lot more as you move into your future self or your future version of beliefs that you are creating. And so from your current beliefs that you currently have, the list that you created, I want you to ask yourself, pick a belief, and I want you to ask yourself, how can I generate this belief using only positivity? So whatever your current belief is, if it obviously has a negative charge, then we want to instill a positive charge into it so that you can connect into the positive belief rather than the latter. So going through your belief systems now and writing down what for each belief that you have written down, putting on your growth mindset and writing down the positive version of this belief. What is the version of this belief where you no longer feel how this belief has made you feel in the past? So I'll just give you a couple minutes to go through your list, and then we're going to move into the next stage. I haven't put any music on today, I apologise, but I think it sort of interferes with the audio a little bit too much, so you've just got silence, which is totally okay. I'll just give you a couple minutes. Just to start to generate new beliefs that you want to embody wholeheartedly, that you know you want to create and you really want to adopt, you want to believe. What do you want to believe? I want to believe that this process is really powerful, really helpful for you to understand how to shift your current belief systems, how to change the way you view yourself, and how to regain your power, how to stop giving your power away to these current beliefs. If it's something that's potentially holding you back or linked to a experience which wasn't pleasant. So this is just the beginning. This is the start of shifting your perspective. Now, a lot of this work that we're doing is part of the healing method that I created when I was going through my own personal healing journey. And it is also the roadmap that I've created to be able to teach others how to heal themselves. So This is really special to me. So if it's helpful, I would really love to know. If you could let me know in the comments below how you're going. And what I'd like you to do is, when you've got your new list of beliefs using only positivity, I would like you to let me know. I would love you to send me a picture of your beliefs. And what I'll be able to do is record them for you as an audio practice, something that you can connect into every day. As you start to connect to these beliefs and you start to reprogram your beliefs. And this is a really great way to, I guess, start to train yourself, start to train your mind that these are your new beliefs, because your mind will still want to hold on to the old beliefs as we start to integrate the new ones. The old ones may still be playing out. So it's just something that we have to create a new program and a new routine around in order for the beliefs to really land in your body, in your mind, and in your soul. Okay, with that, we're going to move into the last section, which is really, for me, it's the most powerful, but for you, it might be completely different. And it's a lot of what I do and what I teach, especially in my retreats. And the subject is all around self-expression and how to step into your highest expression. And what even is that? What is your highest expression? It is basically the most genuine, authentic, organic, raw, uncut version of you, without all of these false beliefs or these social conditions that you've adopted, or these versions of yourself that you've created because you didn't feel safe, or you didn't feel like you could open up, or you didn't feel like you were accepted. So it's really about the true person, who you really are in here, and being able to express that, being able to show that, to be able to show up like that, instead of sort of maybe perhaps retreat and be a big part of this in what I do anyway. But a big part of this for me is communication. So, because communication is so key in everything we do, in our work, in our relationships, in our friendships, and it actually allows us to step back into our power, to regain our power, to be able to speak up for ourselves, to be able to really stand up and have those confronting and hard conversations when you potentially are sort of retreating and running back from them. So it's about having the confidence to express yourself in a way that makes you feel heard and seen, and in a way that allows your needs and your boundaries to be met, or you are able to enforce these. Well, maybe not enforce these, but you are able to implement these, and you are able to communicate these effectively, as well as being able to communicate how you're feeling. If something's not going your way, letting people know that you maybe just need to implement a boundary of, I need a day off, I need some time to myself, I need a holiday, I need a weekend away, whatever it is that you need. It's just about being able to ask for it or let someone know. So the first stage of expression, of self-expression and communication, is all around connecting to your voice, finding your voice. And this starts with connection to your body. This starts with really surrendering to what is the fear behind the fear behind the what's holding me back from actually stepping into your voice. That's what I wanted to say. My voice is obviously putting up a barrier, but being able to let go of the fear of judgment of what people will think when you do express yourself or you do stand up for yourself. And if this is an area that you are currently struggling with, and as you start to connect to yourself on a deeper level, when you start to connect to your throat and to your voice, and you start to use your voice with people, in relationships, whatever the type of relationship, you will notice that people will sort of maybe like take a step back, and it may shock them if you haven't always been this way, because it's the first time that they've experienced you actually stepping into your power, and it's almost like they may not know what to do. So you may need to, we'll get into that in the next phase, but you may need to just be conscious of that. And some people may like it, some people may not. And whatever the outcome, it is meant to be. So connection, surrender, just allowing the fear or the feeling that you won't be accepted if you actually speak up and speak your mind, or it might be that you're being confrontational, or that you're having to put yourself in a confrontational conversation. The next part of it is really about knowing and understanding exactly who you are. And when you do this, your confidence will grow and your connection to yourself will grow. You'll have this deep understanding of yourself, so you know when something may potentially trigger you, and you have your needs around what you need in order for that to not happen, or if it happens, you know what to do. You do the practice that we just did. So knowing who you are, knowing, all of these shadow aspects of yourself is really important, because then it makes it so much easier to understand how to express yourself in a way that allows you to be heard and to be listened to. The other part of this is just being yourself. Once you know who you are, taking off these layers perhaps that we've adopted, and these versions of ourselves that we are pretending to be, or that we are putting on in order to please other people. We need to let those go. And once we let those go, it's almost like you're breaking free of these shackles that are holding you back and keeping you quiet and keeping your light dimmed and keeping you small. And then you can start to have the confidence to step out of your comfort zone and to be able to create growth and change and transformation. And you do this through consistent commitment. So you do this through consistently pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and identifying that your comfort zone is an older version of you. And in order to break free from that, you need to step out of it. You need to try something new. You need to create change in order to create growth. And in doing that, you will start to really connect to your true power. And you'll be able to start to express yourself with so much more confidence. And I encourage you to open up a dialogue, start talking about what you're doing. Start letting people know that this is something that you really want to work on. And just ask for their support and ask for their non-judgment. And yeah, that's really about letting people know where you're at, letting people know what's coming up for you, and that things might come up for you as you are going through this process. So moving into communication really increases your confidence once you are able to step out of that comfort zone and you are able to start to have conversations with people around your needs. And this is a really big one, because I think a lot of us don't actually know how to ask for what we need. If you do, amazing. You can help all of us. But communicating your needs is such a powerful part of your journey. And that's why it's really important to understand your needs and really understand what you need to feel safe, to feel fulfilled, to feel content, happy, peace, whatever it is that you need. And that's why we did a little bit of that work on Monday and a little bit yesterday. So being really clear on what you need will help you to communicate with others and let other people know what you need. So you could be having a conversation with your partner or a friend, and you could be letting them know that you have felt disconnected from your voice, and so you are taking some action towards being able to change that and being able to connect more to your voice. But in the process of doing that, what you need is XYZ from them, their support, their love, their patience, whatever it is that you need. And just letting them know that it would be really great if they could give this to you, because it would help you. It would make you feel what you feel when you have that need met. So you start to see the link between everything here. Your communication is also really great for talking about what your boundaries are, being able to implement boundaries when someone says to you, and we've all done this, someone says to you, it's your day off perhaps, and somewhat your boss says to you, are you able to come into work today because someone's not able to? And most of us would say yes, depending on your situation and what you need. But we also resent that because we really need our day off. We need to rest. We need to disconnect from work and have some downtime and reconnect to ourselves. So if that's what you need and you said yes, then you are the one that is not providing your own needs to yourself. So just starting to have the awareness around that. And so on the opposite side to that, just letting your boss know, look, I'm really sorry, but I'm just a little bit deflated and I need to rest today. I can't help. That's it. Sometimes you don't even need to apologize, but it's almost like a default mechanism that we go straight into feeling guilty for enforcing our boundaries or implementing our boundaries, I'm going to say, because we don't want to force them. We want to be able to communicate our boundaries in a way that's almost compassionate, but in a way that's firm, but also compassion. Firm compassion. There we go. So we're talking about your needs and your boundaries, and it also affects your beliefs as well. So has anyone ever had a conversation with friends or family where you have a difference of opinions or you have a difference of beliefs? I recently have had some of these conversations, and more often than not, they can be political or religious. Depends. It can be absolutely anything. But being able to stand up and communicate what you believe in, and for me, I never really felt confident doing that because I think that I actually didn't know what I believed about myself, or as sort of my upbringing may have molded my beliefs until I started this healing journey and working on myself. So as you do this, you will probably find that you will connect more with your beliefs, or because you are connecting more with your beliefs, you feel more confident in being able to actually communicate them and being able to stand up for yourself and be able to express your opinion and have an input into conversation. Excuse me. There's some throat energy coming up. So what we need is the energy to come out, because energy comes out however it wants to. But what we need in order to become confident in communicating is we obviously need to really understand ourselves and on a deep intrinsic level where no one could ever say something to us that we don't already know. Or perhaps it's not in relation to you personally because you already know everything. They may say something to you and you're like, yeah, well, that's true, that I do that, or I have done that in the past. But if you already know that, then it's not going to be a surprise when someone perhaps brings it up or when it triggers something emotionally within you. So when you are communicating, that's a really important part of the process, because if you perhaps are not totally connected or you are disconnected, usually these conversations don't happen, or they happen. And if you were anything like me, these conversations happen around you, but you can't communicate. I used to be in confronted conversations and I would shut down. I just physically shut down, disconnect, switch off. So in order to really be able to have these conversations that actually lead to a positive outcome and lead to you not feeling deflated or not feeling like, someone's kind of told you off or someone's not allowed you to actually speak up for yourself, then we need to start thinking about taking action, taking the first step in having conversations and having intentional conversations. Say something's been bugging you. Gosh, something's been bugging you. Perhaps your partner or your housemate didn't do the dishes, and the dishes have been sitting there for 2 days. And, maybe one of your needs is that you need the house to be tidy. Otherwise, you feel a little bit anxious. And it's been something that's bugging you for a few days, but you're sort of holding on to it, you're biting your tongue, and you're just trying to process it until it sort of starts to take over. And it will, when we don't actually communicate these things, they will simply compound on each other. So it's like, putting paper on top of paper. It will just become a bigger pile of things. And what we want to be able to do is actually have the courage to take the first step and to take the action and say to your partner or your housemate, are you okay if we just have a little bit of a chat? And then we can approach the conversation with an intentional outcome. What is it that you actually want to get out of this conversation? What is the potential outcome that you would like to happen? Let's say it is that you actually express how you're feeling, how their lack of awareness around the dishes sitting on the sink for 2 days is actually affecting you and making you feel more anxious, and that you would like them to, make a bit more of an effort, because that would make you feel calmer. That would make you feel less resentment, less anger, whatever it is for you. And so then this allows you to think about that outcome. Before you start this conversation, think about that outcome that you want to achieve. And then going into the conversation, you have in the back of your mind already that that's the outcome that you want to achieve. And don't be disheartened if that's not the way it goes, but you are going in there with a thought process. And if you sort of get flustered or you find yourself not knowing what to say, you come back to that outcome. You come back to what that is and the reason that you're actually having this conversation, because that will bring you back to what you need to say. If you need to write it down, bring a little note card with you. Nothing wrong with that, absolutely. And so through doing that, it will make the initial times that you actually start to have these conversations, it'll make those easier for you. And over time, it will gradually get easier and it will gradually become the new normal for you. You'll be able to sit down and be like, oh, we just need to have a chat. There's a few things that we might need to talk about, whoever it is and whatever it is. But it will give you the confidence to be able to start to have these conversations and start to really take the initiative. And in doing that, you are taking your power back, because you're not waiting for someone to come and have a conversation with you first. You are the one that's taking the first step. You are the one that's taking the initiative, and you are leading the conversation. You are leading, yourself through this process of nipping things in the butt when they happen straight away, and not holding on to them, not storing them in your body, not resenting them or allowing them to go around and round in your mind until you have, an emotional outburst or it just gets too much. And I always recommend, before having a conversation, find something that allows you to connect to yourself, because you want to be in a state of grounded alignment, really, and calm and peace. You don't want to go into a conversation really emotionally charged and you know, almost angry and frustrated. You want to go into it feeling calm and clear, and this will allow your voice to, or you to connect to your voice firstly, but it will allow you to sort of flow through the conversation a lot easier. So the best way to nail becoming a confident communicator is to practice. So maybe something that we could try is picking one of your needs that you wrote down yesterday. It can be any need that you have, potentially, or just pick any need. We won't get into the nuts and bolts of it, but I want you to pick a need, and then I want you to think about the person that this affects the most in your life, or the person that has the most activity with this particular need. And I would love you to initiate a conversation with this person, starting with letting them know that you'd like to have a conversation, and then obviously letting them know that it's just something you want to tell them, so you don't freak them out, and just letting them know what you're doing, letting them know that you did this soul sovereignty series, and one of the tasks was that you wanted to start doing intentional conversations, starting with the outcome that you want to achieve, getting clear on that, and then thinking about the need that you want to talk about, thinking about how this need relates to the person that you're having the conversation with, and thinking about what happens if this need isn't met. What happens, how does it make you feel when you don't receive this need? Excuse me, throat's really opening up today. So, outcome. Think about the relevance and how that person could potentially help you to receive what you need, and let them know what you're doing and how you feel when this need isn't met, so that they can understand where you're coming from. And when people understand you, it is easier for them to meet your needs, because they will think, when the next time they go to put a dish on the sink, they'll be like, oh, hang on, if I do this, it might make Carla feel anxious and stressed out, and I don't want her to feel that. So I'll make a conscious effort to do the dish straight away, or put it in the dishwasher, or whatever the solution is. So you start to see how you actually expressing your needs to other people allows them to help you get your needs met, if it's relevant to a person, or helps them to understand where you're at and what's happening for you. If you are being triggered by, you know, the dishes not being done, it helps them to understand why you're moody, or why you're getting emotional, or why you're not talking to them. Maybe I'm talking too much. So that's a really great place to start. If you're able to try having an intentional conversation about your needs to someone, and maybe letting them know what you need, what your boundary is, so that they understand that. And this is a really key thing with communicating what you need. Be honest and let them know, I just need an hour a day to myself where I can connect to myself, and then I'll be okay. I'll be able to, slot back into the normal routine. So being really honest with them as well. Okay. Now these all, there seems to be a link between some of the stuff that we did back on day one, and when it comes to expression, we will always come, it'll always come back to connection, because the more connected we feel to ourselves, the easier it will be for us to express ourselves. The easier it will be to show up genuinely and authentically and not be afraid of what other people will think if we show up with no makeup, or if we start to speak our mind and speak our truth. Whatever that is for you, however you want to express yourself. It might be that you want to start dressing, you want to start wearing more color, you want to wear a little bit of lipstick, or, whatever that is. And the thing with self-expression is that you are not doing it for anyone else. You are only doing it for yourself because it makes you feel a certain way. And it makes you feel more you, really. That's what it comes down to. So in terms of how to really express yourself, how to step into the highest and the fullest expression of who you are, by really connecting to who you are, and really understanding and knowing who you are deep down, knowing all of your skeletons, and really connecting to how you actually want to show up, how you actually want to be expressed. Do you want to be confident? Do you want to sort of be carefree and just easygoing and not really care? I don't give a crap about what anyone thinks of me. I'm just going to show up as I am. That is your fullest expression. So the more that you can connect to that version of yourself, the more your expression will just come out. And obviously there are things that you may need to work on in terms of healing. There's always things that will come up for us, but having the awareness around those things and understanding what they are will actually allow you to start to shift and start that healing process, start that transformation process. And that's when we start to clear some of this emotional energy, start to get rid of that, because that is the stuff that is currently covering up who you really are. That is the stuff that is masking your highest expression, and it's stopping you from stepping into your full power. So by clearing and doing the healing work and doing whatever it is that you need to be able to heal, we start to connect more to your highest expression of who you are, your genuine, authentic self. And when we start to do this, we start to get more clarity. You will get so much more clarity around what you want, perhaps what you don't want, and things start to become more clearer in terms of you potentially not doubting yourself anymore in making a decision. And you know that the decision that you're making is going to serve your highest good. It's going to be for your benefit, rather than making a decision from a place of disconnection and from a version of you that is wounded or that is, disconnected, what we spoke about. So you'll get the clarity that you need to be able to make decisions that support you and support your alignment, they support your future that you're wanting to create. They support the version of you that you are stepping into, where you are fully embodying your voice and your expression, and you are just being you. And in doing so, things will flow to you much, much easier, because you are in alignment with yourself, with the true version of who you are, your highest expression, and your power and your purpose. So I really hope that this has helped you today to just start to understand what your fullest expression is. Actually, why don't we'll do a little bit of a guided meditation, and to help you connect to this version of yourself. So get comfortable, close down your eyes. You need to, you can come back to this part at any stage. And as always, just connecting to your breath, breathing deeply, and then exhaling to release. And again. Just allowing any tension, any resistance, just to dissolve with each breath that you are taking, breathing into that area of your body where you feel the tightness, where you feel the emotion, you feel the energy. You're not sure what it is. Just allowing your breath to connect you into your body, allowing your mind to soften and to slowly just drift into the background, continuing your breath deep and long, and then soft and slow on the exhale. Okay, I'm just going to bring your awareness down to your feet. Connect to grounded cords that run down from your feet, down into the earth, all the way down to the layers, through the layers of the earth, the rocks and the dirt and the clay. And plugging yourself down into the center of the earth. Mother Gaia holds you. She holds your cord firm and safe. letting you know you are safe in this moment. You are held as you connect deeper to yourself, using your breath to guide you, breathing in and out. Now that you are firm and secure through the sacred energy of Mother Gaia, bringing your awareness up through all the layers of the earth, leaving your cords where they are, bringing this energy all the way up into your body, up into your legs and your spine, allowing this energy to move up into your stomach, into your chest, into your shoulders and your arms and your fingers, up your neck and your chin, your lips, your nose, your eyes, your forehead, all the way up until it completely fills your body. You feel totally grounded. You start to notice the energy spilling out through the top of your head, creating a beam of energy that travels out the roof of your place, out into the sky, out of this galaxy, into the center of the universe. Into your home, your soul's home, in the center of the universe. I want you to start to see what it looks like. What does your soul's true home look like to you? You start to get closer. You notice the door. You open the door and walk through into the entrance. And as you do, notice a long corridor. You can't quite tell where this corridor leads, but you start to notice what it looks like, what it feels like to be in your home, your soul's creation, of who you really are. Feeling content and relieved to be back home, to be able to be yourself, be able to remove these layers of pretend and covering up. You start to undress these layers. And you move close. And you start to see a figure down the very end of the corridor. You can't quite make out who or what the figure is. So you start to walk closer, almost a little bit slower, a little bit cautious. And as you get closer, you start to notice the silhouette. It's almost similar to your silhouette. And you wonder if this is perhaps you in another dimension. And you get closer and closer and you realize it is you. You are looking at yourself. You are looking at the highest, fullest, most authentic, genuine version of yourself, where you don't need to be anyone else because you are you. You are powerful. You have so much wisdom and understanding of who you really are. And you don't have anything to hide. You are bearing everything. You are naked. And you realize as you get up close and in front of this version of you, you realize it's actually a reflection of you. You are looking into the mirror, and the reflection is showing you who you really are, what the most authentic and fully expressed version of you is, how you hold yourself. Doesn't seem to bother you that you are naked. You are at home. You can be whoever you want to be and however you want to show up. You don't need to cover up for anyone. You can just be you. Telling yourself that you are proud of this version of you, being so raw and uncut and organic, and really owning who you are, owning your identity, owning your shadows, owning your emotions, owning your beliefs and your boundaries, and owning your voice and being able to speak up for yourself, being able to speak your truth in your mind when it matters the most, letting yourself know you are so proud of the work that you are doing in order to maintain this authentic, fully expressed version of yourself and the power that comes along with that. But sadly, it's time to leave your star home, your soul home, and you walk back down through the corridor, out of the front door, knowing you'll be back, down through all of the galaxies and the stars and the planets, back down through the roof of your home or place where you are now, back into your crown, and you draw down this energy from your soul's home. You draw this down through the top of your crown and into your heart, into your chest. And you allow this energy to completely start to fill up your body, start to activate your cells, start to reprogram your DNA. And eventually your whole body is completely filled with this energy, your true identity. And it starts to form a bubble around your body, about 10 centimeters outside of your body, completely enveloping you, your body, your physical body, your emotional body, your mental, and your spiritual body, your intellectual body. It completely covers your auric field, wrapping you in this beautiful colored energy from your soul's home, protecting you and regaining your power, regaining your purpose, regaining your connection to your true self. Just taking a couple of deep breaths. Please start to bring your awareness back into your room, where you are now, and coming back into this reality. Apologies. Just taking some time to come back to the present moment. And in a moment, I invite you to grab your journal and to just sit with yourself and write down what you experienced in that moment, or what's wanting to come through for you. And writing down or revisiting your needs and what you need to be able to step into that version of you that you saw in the mirror in your soul's home, and really being able to connect to that. Hold that vision of you. Hold that vision for the next 6 months and focus on embodying the beliefs and what you need in order to step into that version of you that is fully standing in her power, in her fullest and highest expression, in her authenticity, and owning her identity, owning her purpose and her gifts and how she shows up. So, my loves, that brings us to the end of this series of Soul Sovereignty. I hope that you have really enjoyed it. I would love to hear your feedback, or if there's anything that I can dive deeper into with you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.